Hey everyone, this is Rob,
Hey, Michelle.
and welcome to Bunebape, your weekly podcast on everything you need to know about old school RuneScape.
Meet mer.
Er,
Murder, murder, meet.
Okay, so here we are. How do I start this normally?
This week up on the docket.
This week up on the docket. Yeah, you threw me off with your weird noises. Up on the docket, we actually don't have much going on this week, so it's probably going to be a little bit of a shorter episode, but we do have some stuff to talk about. Starting off with the Runefest update. So, anyone interested in going or meeting up with friends, we actually have a date for you to save. And then we'll be going into the only thing this week, like we mentioned last week, no update this time around because they are getting ready for while Guthix sleeps. It will be released next update. So I think it's July 10th is going to be the release date of the actual quest, and you can try it out with all the new fire weapons, the demon anti-demon weapons and stuff like that. So
Yep.
all that will be released next week. This week, though, we're going to be talking about the results of the most recent game jam.
Yeah, going over some of their ideas.
Yeah, so that'll be really interesting. They have a lot of stuff to go over, so that's nice because not
Yeah, no actual updates.
yeah,
so.
nothing else to really cover this week, so we'll be going in depth on a lot of those, and then of course, as always, ending off on our typical Q&A. And
Yep.
anyone that wants to ask a question, please feel free to do so by asking us anywhere on any of our socials, but especially in our discord.gg/boonbape, where we have a questions section for the podcast. It can be about OSRS, any other games, or real life.
Yeah, whatever you want.
Yep. Before we get into all that super cool stuff, Michelle, how's it going?
It's good. I've hit 11,500 Scurrius, Casey. I am rank 37. I still don't have the pet, so that's a bummer.
Congrats.
Thanks.
When do you think they're going to add the pet to the game?
I don't know if they will, to be honest.
Yeah.
It might ruin it. It might just make a lot of like high level people go and grind it. It would just mess with the economy at that point.
Yeah. You know what's funny is I feel like there has to be, one person that's done like a ton of a boss, whether it be like Barrows or
Oh, expecting a pet, but there's no pet.
yeah, like Perilous
100%.
Moons or something. And they're like, man, I can't get the pet. I'm like 2,000 deep.
I'm sure it's happened.
Yeah. Definitely someone has probably thought about it.
Oh yeah, but I'm really, really close to hitting 4 times the drop rate. Oh Jesus, yeah, no, that's accurate.
Nice.
So I'm probably just gonna be AFKing the rest of the day. It's the 4th of July, so I had work off today. So I stayed up late last night, and all day today I've just been AFKing Scurrius and playing Stardew Valley again. I think I'm getting close to like completing Stardew Valley, and I kind of want to like totally complete it. So we'll see if I end up doing that. RuneScape wise, we've seen 1 purple this week. We got in a Vernic, so that was 11 mil.
Pretty good.
And I've spent over 11 mil the past day just on runes for Scurrius.
Nice.
So, yeah. And then just doing like random CAs here and there. But nothing too crazy this week, unfortunately. Maybe next week. Oh, and tomorrow, so Friday, July 5th, 8 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, I'm going to be doing a cosplay stream. My first cosplay in months. I'm going to dress as a Spirit Angler Fisher.
The
I'm really excited
Spirit
about it.
Gangler.
Yeah, I was walking around in it last night showing Robert. And I was like, this is easy and cool.
Yeah.
I'm happy about it. So that'll be fun. It's been
Yeah.
a while since I've cosplayed. I'm super excited.
Yeah, it'll be cool to get back into the cosplay.
Yeah, so I'm thinking like maybe every month or every couple months I could like spend a little bit extra money on it. I only spend like $30 on these supplies, but still trying to pay off our debt and still getting used to actually having money, which means I'm buying way too much food. So we'll see. Hopefully we can keep up the cosplays.
It is the way.
It is the way. Yeah,
But
we
that's
went and
it.
got food for lunch today. That's it.
That's it. No scythes, nothing.
No sights?
Scythe.
Oh, no sight. Absolutely not. I wish. Yeah, that's the only purple we've seen this week. And I've been wanting to like raid, but some days people don't want to, so I'm just kind of basing on when other people are available. And then working on CAs whenever they're not. But, how you doing?
I'm pretty good. I also haven't done a ton. Well, I've done a ton, but like not like achievement wise in RuneScape this week. A lot of AFK time, just like at
Firewatch?
Nightmare Zone or Firewatch. I did a bit of Nightmare Zone. I got up to like 1,000,000 points. I think I can imbue something if I want to, but I'm not like going to yet until I have like a few mil saved up probably
Okay.
of the points. So I also didn't think about it, but that's actually probably a pretty okay way of getting herbs.
Nightmare Zone?
Yeah, because you get
I used to go and buy those every day.
how many? You get like 10 a day,
Something like that.
and then 7 days a week, so that's like 70 herbs.
Yeah, and you get more than 10
Yeah,
because it's
yeah.
like 10 boxes,
Yeah, it's 10
right?
boxes, so it's like 70 sets of herbs. So
Back in the day before I was 99 combat, I used to go to Nightmare Zone like every day and then get those boxes every single day.
yeah, yeah. I'll probably spend quite a bit more time there, leveling range.
Mm-hmm.
I did a little bit of attack and strength there, but yeah, I haven't been back because yeah, I have been at the Firewatch Sentinels.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Are you there right now?
I was just checking if I was logged in still
Oh.
because I logged out because we were checking sepulcher stuff,
Which we'll talk
but
about later.
yeah, so I've been at the Firewatch Sentinels. Pretty much, I like became like a real life bot, and I've just been there AFK because it's like really AFK.
Mm-hmm.
7 minutes of pretty much no contact if you want.
Jesus.
So yeah, I've just been there because I am training my combat.
Yeah.
It's yeah, I don't really care about.
And you're really slow at work, so.
Yeah,
Just been
exactly.
doing all day at work, too.
I don't really care about the drops too much. I'm really just there mainly because it's like the drops are nice,
The
but
rune alchemables.
yeah, but
Yeah.
it's just because I can sit there for 7 minutes and not do anything.
Mm-hmm.
So that being said, though, I have made over 2 mil
Not
just
counting.
like high alching stuff. And then Michelle wants to tell you before I tell you that I did get one blood shard. Yeah. So I actually got it pretty much on drop rate because I killed like 700 at work and then 700 here, and the drop rate is around 1500. So actually pretty much right, right where I expected to get it. I didn't really want it, like I said, because I don't even have a Fury yet, so I
You'll
can't
want it
even.
someday.
Yeah, I can't even use it or anything like that. But I have it just in case,
Yeah.
and then I'll need more for the rest of the team and stuff like that. But yeah, pretty cool. Glad I got it.
Mm-hmm.
And just, I want to check how many. It's cool because we are going to talk about Sepulcher a little bit later.
During the Q&A, like a long time later.
Yeah, but I actually got probably around like 500 or 600 vampire ashes in order to use them at the treasure chest in the Sepulcher. So that'll
Smart.
be really nice because that is quite a few. I mean, if I use one per run, then that's 600 laps, which is kind of a lot. So that'll be really good because I've usually just been skipping those.
Yeah. Good. Yeah. More loot for you.
Yeah, exactly. So that's really just been it. I did end up getting hitting the goal that I wanted, which is really 82 attack. I went from 77 attack to 82
Nice.
just by doing pretty much almost exclusively Firewatch Sentinels, and that allows me to equip everything in the game. So
And now you could go grind a Fang.
yeah, I could if I wanted to,
Eventually.
but yeah, I'm probably gonna AFK my range a little bit and then go do potentially get my fire cape this weekend. I could have gotten it a long time ago, but I'm just like really sidelining that objective
Yeah.
currently.
Better to go over prepared too. Make it even quicker.
Yeah, exactly. I don't want to spend 2 hours there. I'd rather just like get it done and over with. And I have ruby bolts and diamond bolts, and I have everything that I need.
Perfect.
So just a matter of time before I go and get it.
Mm-hmm.
But with that being said, you want to jump into Runefest?
Yeah. So Runefest, a new date has been announced. We are delighted to announce that we'll be hosting Runefest at the NEC in Birmingham, UK on March 1st through March 2nd, 2025.
Yep. So same exact location as it was before, Birmingham,
Don't know
UK.
why.
And it is going to be quite a few months later. So unfortunately, around 200 days from now is when it'll be happening.
More money? More time to save money, though.
More money.
More money. Okay. Anyway, so we'd like to thank you for your patience while we work through the difficulties we shared with you previously. We'll now be running Runefest as an independent event and not in conjunction with Insomnia. We are no less ambitious about delivering an excellent value event with all the stunning immersive experiences and community atmosphere you'd expect. All existing tickets will transfer automatically, meaning you don't need to do anything if you already have them, and we'll be selling an additional 1,000 tickets, plus any others that we refund, meaning that Runefest will be bigger than ever. We expect these new tickets to go on sale later in the summer, and you'll be given plenty of notice to get ready for it. I will hold my tongue on what to say till breath end.
Yeah.
Any ticket holders who are unable to make the new dates will be able to claim a full refund. While we'd still love for you to join, we know that logistically things may not work for some of you. For those of you that wish to claim a refund, they have a link here that you could log into with your order reference number or one of the qualifying verifications, and you could request a refund. Please also note that as Insomnia will no longer be a part of Runefest, this means that camping is no longer available. All camping tickets purchased will be automatically refunded. We've updated our Runefest terms and conditions to reflect the changes of dates and that Runefest will no longer be running alongside Insomnia. They have the full terms and conditions on here if you want to read it. And we've also got some tips for those of you who can no longer attend but may have already made travel accommodation arrangements. They advise you to check your bookings for refundable or flexible conditions, directly contact whoever you have your bookings with to see whether they may be able to do anything additional to help, consult your travel insurance terms, and contact them directly to see whether anything regarding refunds or making changes to booking is covered. And they also say that some credit card providers offer travel protection. So if nothing else works, it might be worth checking with them to see whether they can help you out.
Yep.
It's not very helpful. Lastly, we'd like to again apologize for the disruption caused. We appreciate that this may have impacted many of your plans, and we really do appreciate you giving us the time to make Runefest happen. We'll be sharing more information about tickets and event details as soon as we're able. Until then, we're really looking forward to bringing our wonderful community together again in March of 2025. The Runefest team. Alright. So, I'll start by saying, I'm going to try and get a ticket. If we can get a ticket, we'll save for it.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean I'm not feeling a little critical at the same time.
Yeah. About what?
I don't know why they're still having it in Birmingham. Is the main one. I'm assuming it's just cheaper.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I don't know why they're having it in March. I've seen a lot of people that live in England being like, why are you still having it in March? It's going to be so cold. No one's going to like that. You should just wait till summer.
Yeah, it's going to be cold and it's going to be wet as well.
Yeah. And then the other thing is, why are they only adding 1,000 more tickets? Like, there's definitely more than 1,000 people going to Insomnia, I'm sure.
Well,
so I'm wondering, like, is it going to be
it'd be 3,000, right?
It'll be 3,000 total, yeah.
Yeah.
But before it was 2,000 just for Runefest, and you know that they didn't have only 1,000 for just Insomnia.
No, it was 1,000 and then 2,000 and then now 3,000.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about how many tickets Insomnia had for their event specifically. Because I'm sure it was much more because they were the bigger part of it.
Wait, so yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
No.
Okay.
Because like it's totally separate, so I don't get how they're related at all.
Previously, because they're taking the entire venue that was going to be for 2 different events and making it for one event only.
Yeah.
So I don't understand how they're only adding 1,000 more tickets, and I'm just wondering if it's going to be like weirdly sparse inside.
Well, I mean, the thing is, you're assuming it's based entirely on capacity when I'm basing it on how much they think they can sell.
Oh, I think they could sell more than 3,000. But who
I mean,
knows?
I don't know.
Some people might be jaded.
Yeah, I have no idea. But also,
I think they'll sell out.
Yeah, I think they'll sell out as well. I don't know. Also, yeah.
Okay, what are your thoughts? Those are my takes.
Well,
but I will still try.
Someone else brought up that like it should be cheaper because you don't get to go to Insomnia.
It's not cheaper. It's the same exact price.
Yeah, it's gonna be the same price.
It's like 225 USD.
Yeah.
For the weekend.
So it's still kind of a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, not that many tickets as well. I don't know. I mean, if you think about it, that's like not that much money. What is it, like 3,000 times 2? You know, it's like $60,000.
It was like 220, so it's around like 660K.
Oh, yeah, I should have added another zero. Yeah, so like 600 grand. I feel like they could have like gotten a bigger venue for that price.
Yeah, I also just I think they could have gotten a bigger venue and sold more tickets. I'm just like confused as to why they're so dead set on the Birmingham thing.
Yeah, I don't know.
I wonder if maybe they were like already in a contract with the venue and they were just having to negotiate a different date. It's really strange.
Yeah, I have no idea. It's the whole thing is really weird. Honestly, I still think it's being done fairly poorly. But I mean, what do I know? Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't sound like it's gonna be the best, but
I know like some people, like Ellie might be going, and she lives like in Argentina, so like specifically I was like, okay, if you're going, I'll try to go because I know I probably won't go to Argentina anytime soon.
Yeah.
But if I can't get tickets, I don't think I'll be going anyway, like how I previously wanted to. It's lost some of the hype a little bit.
Yeah, I think it's not at a good time. It's not at a good venue. So if it's not like really cool to be there, then that would really just make it suck overall.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, in their defense, they haven't released any details about if stuff's going to change and what kind of events, so we are judging a little prematurely.
I
But,
also think it's just the timing is also really poor.
mm-hmm.
Because if you think about it, like we've always, well, not always, but in recent years, we've had the summer summit and then the winter summit, and then this is in the spring.
Oh, so,
So,
like, what are they going to have to announce?
yeah, they're going to just rehash stuff that we've already talked about, or they're going to tease stuff that is
Well,
coming from the winter summit. So, the winter summit is going to be weaker.
they could be doing the Golden Gnomes at them because they last year at this time I'm pretty sure that we were already in the Golden Gnome nominations,
Yeah,
and this
whatever.
year they haven't mentioned it at all because people thought they wanted to do it live, which I mean is cool, but
Yeah, I just don't care.
you need to have some like big game announcements. Are we gonna have a spring summit?
Yeah,
Like,
because I mean, they're gonna talk about like, when Summer Summit comes up soon, they're gonna talk about, if assuming they do it, they're gonna just talk about stuff that they've already kind of been planning. Like a few more quests, a few more events, and then maybe like Deadman, and I
do you
doubt,
think that Varlamore Part 2 is gonna be part of it?
probably, and then I don't think that they're gonna talk about leagues
I hope they
until
do.
winter, if they plan on having leagues soon.
Last time Leagues was in fall, right, or was it winter?
I have no
I
idea.
don't remember what month that was.
Yeah,
Leagues was so fun.
they did they announce leagues during one of the summits?
They did.
Okay,
Because
and
we were both actually really excited
it
about
was
it.
during winter, and it was
Oh, and it started not long after.
yeah, it was because I remember being during winter because they also listed like Halloween and Christmas as parts of
That was weird.
the actual summit,
I'm like,
and
just say that there's less stuff going on.
everyone's like, all right, this is just already what was
Yeah.
happening anyways. So yeah, I think the timing's really bad. I think the venue's bad. I also think they could have way more people going.
I
So
think they would have more people going as well if they had it in somewhere like London instead.
yeah, I don't want to go to Birmingham.
Yeah, I'll go for the day, but then I'm leaving.
Yeah, so I don't
So
know.
if you're going, hang out with us that one day because we'll want to explore other parts of Europe instead.
I guess it's cool that they have a date, so March 1st.
Yeah.
But yeah, and this is obviously next year, 2025. I think this kind of sucks, but I guess it's better than nothing for some people.
Mm-hmm.
I personally am not very excited, but that's it.
Okay. Moving on, we have some updates from the latest Game Jam.
Yeah, so this is
Too far zoomed in. Sorry.
such a large game jam, and they're running. I don't know what the limitation of their website is, but it can't
It was
load
weird.
enough pictures for some reason.
Yeah, so I had to like open up an HTML version of it so it include all the pictures. It was strange. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know what ancient prehistoric website they have running, but apparently it can't load that many pictures.
But anyway, Game Jam, as a reminder, these are all just concepts and are not guaranteed to enter the game anytime soon or even at all.
Yeah, and some of
Just
these
like
are
those dogs we still haven't gotten.
exactly. Some of these are really good, seemingly, and some of them are really not good.
I don't think any are necessarily bad, but there's some that I'm just like, you know?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
You want to start us off?
Oh, yeah. Also, just as a heads up as well, they say, rest assured we have not forgotten about our old Game Jam pitches, and some of them have entered the game already, albeit looking a little different from the original ones. The others are still being reviewed, and we do take your feedback into account. So supposedly they remember the dogs and all the other stuff.
Sure.
We'll see.
The first one is really cool, though.
Yes, so this is the bingo idea by mods Elena, Nox, Hootie, Goblin, Halo, and Pumpkin. We know the community loves a bingo, and so do we. Bingo is a player-run challenge where teams work together to complete various feats of OS during a grind. Is that supposed to say during? During a grind, aiming to finish as many tiles as possible during the event. You might be fighting monsters, collecting rare items, gaining XP, and more, all in the hopes of a prize at the end. It's a great way to bring a group together, but anyone who's run a bingo event knows that organizing is time-consuming and validating the results can be tricky. This is actually why I've never wanted to run a bingo event.
Yeah.
Also, there's always weird drama. Anyway, bingos are fun. So, what if you could host a bingo board in a game? For this game jam, we explored how we could implement this activity and what possibilities it might open up. So the end-game bingo feature would let you set up a grid filled with different challenges, like killing a certain number of monsters, gaining XP and specific skills, or getting a particular drop or any drop from a group of items. And the interface is kind of cool. It reminds me of like the combat achievement page a little bit. Like they're all kind of sorted into different categories, and you just click on it for more detail.
Yeah, so they have a few GIFs here showing what you can expect from the layout, but it shows team captain, the size of the team as well, in
Oh
what
yeah, so
position you are,
that's
being
cool.
first, second, third, how many tiles you've done, how many points you have, and the time remaining. On top of that, you can also she shows how you can actually set up each of the bingos, making it so that you can go and like select a new tile, and then in that tile you can select whether you want it to be like a skilling XP tile, a monster killing tile, and then set the amount of XP or kills you want. And it's cool because whenever you do have it set, they show that there's actually little progress bars under it, and it automatically takes into account any progress you've made towards it.
It's nice. So a lot less cheating, hopefully, during bingos. I'm
Yeah.
assuming that the team captain will be able to see to verify. I don't know. It does look very cool though, and it like the tiles turn green whenever you finish them, which is nice.
Yeah, and it automatically completes as well.
During bingos, if anyone's ever stopped by my stream and I'm doing them, then whenever I upload the boards, I do like the most scuffed, just drawing X's on paint over whatever we finish. So this looks way cleaner,
Yeah.
way more organized.
So this would be really good for like very simple versions of bingo, but I know there are tiered bingos, which this doesn't do, seemingly.
I feel like you could still do it. It'll just be a lot more squares that you're going to have to add because you won't be able to technically tier them. Like instead of having tier 1, 2, and 3, you'll have to have 3 different sections. Just worth different points because you could give each square here a point value.
Yeah.
So you could just count them. I don't know.
Yeah, I was like, I just don't know how that would work with the actual bingoing.
Yeah, I've never organized a bingo. I think this looks really good, but yeah, I'd like to hear someone's input who's actually organized a big bingo before because I know that they're complicated.
Yeah, and they also finish off by saying that hopefully by running it in game, we'll also be able to look at providing easier ways to collect and distribute prize pools, potentially even for official or large scale events.
Nice.
Yeah, so that overall, I think that's pretty cool.
I think it's very cool. But yeah, again, would like to hear input from someone who has actually organized one.
Yeah, this next one is also really cool. I don't really see any downsides from these first two. And so this is going to be the POH customization. So this is pretty much essentially...
Wait, say who the mods are. We'll give them credit.
Jerv, West, Skylark, Harold, and Rice.
I like Harold.
Yeah.
It's a regular name amongst all the others.
Most of these other ones are also normal.
Rice.
Yeah, so I said most. But anyways, yeah, this is essentially just more cool stuff for your house.
Yay.
Still waiting on the, well, I guess not waiting, but still hoping that they actually change the clan house. Anyways, these are what the clan halls essentially could have been, and they are the Prifdinus version. They also have Varlamore, Canifis, and the Wilderness.
I would totally be getting the Prifdinus version.
I think the Wilderness, while it's not my aesthetic, I do think it looks cool.
Oh, they all look cool. The Prif is more my aesthetic, though, for sure.
Yeah, I think the Wilderness one looks like one of the coolest, but I personally probably wouldn't use it. I like the Varlamore one because it's kind of like you're in the plains.
Yeah, and they have like pretty like tile on the outside of the buildings. I do wish that they'd show the inside of the Mauritania and the Varlamore, though. They only show the outside of those ones.
Yeah.
Kind of weird.
Yeah, I do think it looks cool though.
Yeah, it's pretty.
And they also have some additional decorations, and these are for definitely an array of things.
Well, yeah, they said it's more filler furniture, like bookshelves, decoration spots, benches, and rugs. Because right now, there's a very limited amount of space in each room, and sometimes they look like weirdly empty, even if you put everything in there.
Yeah. On top of that, they also are hoping to make clearer distinctions between altars, combat ring variations, and more skill-themed decor.
I love these skilling things.
Yeah, so it's pretty cool. For example, like if you are mounting a hunter trophy, the beginner one will be just like, you know, butterflies, the mid-level one will be like a kiat, and finally the top level one may be like an antelope, which I think requires like 91 hunters. So
it's so funny because I actually think that the butterflies and the impling is like cooler and I'd want it. And most importantly, I want the low-level fishing decor, which is a single shrimp on a plaque.
Single scrimp.
I want it. It's so cute.
It's funny because it looks like the way they spell it is Shromp.
Shromp. They probably did.
Yeah. And they also have other things like shelves and just benches, you know, just regular stuff to fill out the house and make it a little bit
themes too.
more like actually housey.
We've also spent some time adding new animations to parts of the house that need them. For example, thanks to Mod Herald, you can finally spin the globe. They also have one animation, just like redoing how you're going to be sitting a little bit in chairs at your house. Like one is you even like crossing your arms on it. Also, there's a chest opening animation that's been changed just to look like more accurate. It's not just like you touching and it flips open. And the combat ring entry and exit animation has been made a little bit smoother so you're not totally glitching through the walls.
Yeah. While most of us worked on the graphic side, Mod Rice dived into the code jungle and found ways to improve accessibility by revamping our code structure. Implementation wise, we still need to work out what it'll cost for the player to use these options. Construction level, cost of materials, and gating certain furniture behind in game unlocks. We could really use your feedback for the next step. Let us know what you think.
I love that.
Yeah, I think it looks good.
I just really want more house customization. I really want the Hasidia's house. We have to do so much mahogany homes for it.
Yeah.
Next is Bank Loadouts by Mod Necro. Bank Loadouts aim to provide a convenient way to change your equipment and inventory with one click and reduce the friction involved in gearing up. Let's face it, having to gear up not once but twice to do small tasks between large activities can be a drag, especially when you're doing it often. We now have a proof of concept loadout system, which lets you figure. Good lord, why can't I read? A proof of concept loadout system, which lets you configure your preferred equipment set and inventory layouts, save them for later, then effortlessly switch between them as required. The loadout system is accessed through the bank, which means you still have to gear and resupply in the usual way. We can also look at a cooldown timer after combat or PvP to prevent the abuse of the mechanic. Equipping and withdrawing is automatic, but it is not instant. This isn't just for technical reasons. Manual gearing should still remain optimal and viable. This is more for people who want an easier time while banking and don't mind being a bit less efficient. While it's nice to have a simple solution for this, it should not be completely mindless. So, I mean, that's like appropriate, I guess, for whenever I'm streaming and not really paying attention and taking my time. But
yeah.
Otherwise, I think it's funny. They're like, we don't want to be too good. I'm like, you're just gearing.
I think this is cool, but I think those last few sentences were kind of
silly.
Yeah, kind of dumb. Like I don't really understand it. Like why would you need a cooldown after having just done combat or PvP?
I don't know. To be honest, people would just say it's too good, I guess. It could be,
I mean,
during Bounty Hunter, maybe, or something. Like, maybe you're changing.
Yeah, I feel like that is... If you're worried about the PvP thing, then I would assume that you would just bake the precautions into PvP.
Yeah.
I don't understand why there would need to be a cooldown, or why... Yeah, it's a little foolish just saying that... that this is not for technical reasons, but manual gearing should remain optimal and viable.
No,
like, what does that even mean?
I think that they're only saying that because otherwise people will say it's too good. That's what I think. My theory.
I guess.
It's because they'll be like, it's way too fast. No one's gonna ever manually gear. Which, like, if no one ever manually geared, I don't think it's a big deal.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's why. So people won't complain.
Yeah, I don't know.
Theory.
This is maybe you have like a better rationale that you just aren't properly explaining, but
please tell us the rationale.
That doesn't make any sense the way it's presented. Like it should be more optimal to be less or to do it manually. Like what?
Yeah. I mean, some people are really quick with it, I guess. I'm very slow with it because I'll forget, and I like to have everything organized in a specific way.
Yeah. Also, I don't know how like manually could be more optimal. If like this loads your loadout, then it should pretty much just like save you like 12 clicks.
I think there's like, just some people who will go into the bank and like really quick.
Yeah. Still, I mean, yeah, I just don't get it. I don't think it makes any sense.
Kind of agreed on that.
Also limiting it after combat or PvP also just doesn't make sense. Like if there's
I get the PvP, but not really the combat.
If there's a teleport that takes you to where you just were doing combat, it's probably not that valuable of a place. I don't really see how this would be like super abusable besides like, I don't know, Corp or something, which isn't abusable because that's like a 20-minute boss fight anyways.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It just
Kind of
doesn't
a
make
weirder
sense.
one. There's a little bit more though. So on that note, this feature would not generate preset gear loadouts. This thing we expect players to work out for themselves. So you're not going to automatically get a Vorkath setup pre-installed for you. Loadouts will copy whatever you have equipped or in your inventory when you set them, so you'll still need to think about what you're wearing or carrying, and indeed possess the items and meet all the requirements. There's still many questions about loadouts to be answered. How many loadout slots can we provide? What would be the impact on the wider game? Does this feel like a good fit for OSRS? With your feedback, we can start answering these questions, so don't forget to fill the survey below.
Yeah, I'd be okay with just like 3.
Yeah, I want it, weirdly, I really want it for freaking farm runs.
Yeah, I was about to say
I forget one thing on every single farm run. It is so annoying.
yeah,
Various things every time.
maybe you have like a setup for like, oh, I do my farm run right after my birdhouse run, so I have a setup for that.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's like maybe you're like, oh, currently I've been doing a lot of Temporos, so I have a setup for that. And then finally, I've actually been doing like Bandos, so you have a setup for that. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like that's fine. You don't need to do like 100 setups.
Yeah, I don't think it should be unlimited.
You could justify 100 setups, but it's just a little gratuitous.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I guess that's cool.
So miscellaneous Q quality of life.
Yeah.
If you want to get into that?
Miscellaneous, done by Mod Enigma. This one focuses on QL improvements with a particular emphasis on the new and iron experience. New player and iron experience. So they are improving the adventure path because currently it helps players move along, but it stops at level 20, which doesn't really help most players because they still don't know what to do at that point.
What is the adventure path? Is that just like the obvious stuff
Man,
that
you don't even know.
No,
dude.
I don't know what adventure path is.
Yeah, so the adventure path is like you do stuff and then you go talk to like the combat adventurer guy in Lumbridge, and then he's like, cool, now you got to go do this other stuff.
Oh, I've never done that before.
Yeah, and
that actually seems kind of nice.
It is okay. It's like a way to get like extremely beginner equipment, and they kind of tell you what to do, but like they said, it stops at level 20.
And level 5 in gathering.
Yeah, that's level 20 in combat and 5 in gathering, so
like
it's
6
really,
trees.
really low. Yeah. So they're hoping to extend this to level 40. I'm assuming for combat and for gathering. But yeah, so that will bring players hopefully a little bit closer to being out of early game. But yeah, I think that's cool, I guess.
I think they should also make the adventure path more obvious because I didn't even know that was a thing.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know that's a thing. Because it is fairly new as well. I think it's only a couple years old.
Oh.
Additionally, enhancing adventure paths to introduce more skills and mobility options around Gilnor would further benefit newcomers. Because, yeah, I think a lot of people kind of all find out the same way that fairy rings and teleports are pretty much your best friend forever.
Yeah.
But no one tells you that. But
Hope you have the wiki.
Yeah. Along with that, they are also implementing or suggesting implementing improving agility shortcuts, but like not in a big way. Have you? They're saying, have you ever had an agility shortcut and then realized you can't climb back up? This has happened to me once ever at the same spot that they are suggesting.
Is that the one that takes you to the wilderness?
No, this is the one that takes you into the blood altar.
Oh, to me, this has happened in the wilderness. You go and do an extra troll stronghold, and you're like, oh, hee hee. And then you go to climb back, and it's like, nope, you're stuck in the wilderness now. And I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah, I think this one is the one at the dense essence next to the Zaya blood altar.
Gotcha.
That's also a one-way, 74 requirement, I think. But yeah, now it'll say agility shortcut one way.
Yes. Because, yeah, there was no visual indicator before, so you just kind of don't want to go over unless you know what you're doing, I guess.
Yeah. The next thing they are suggesting is for NPCs. So as you know, once an NPC has been attacked by another player, Iron Man players cannot attack it or receive any loot from it. However, there are times where the other player was cannoning and it is long gone, which causes needless frustration. We'd like to change this behavior and make it so that once NPCs are no longer in combat, their HP will reset, allowing Iron players to engage in battle without issue.
As an Iron, what do you think? I don't know how much you run into this yet, because you haven't done...
Oh, I run into it all the time.
Really?
Yeah, all the time. Especially at Fire Watch Sentinels
yeah.
as well. This happens even without a cannon. Yeah, literally every 20 minutes. But it is not that big a deal, and mostly I would like their health resetting much less than I would like dealing with anything else. Like, um, I feel like it'd be much more annoying dealing with an NPC's health resetting if it was on accident.
Well, I was thinking that they should like, because they say resetting when it's no longer in combat. I was thinking that they should wait like 30 seconds in case, I don't know, maybe someone's like flinching or something.
Yeah, I don't think there's a good way to do this in which it wouldn't suck. Because
Oh.
also something that I run across a lot is, for instance, things that are aggressive towards you. Like, you could have attacked something, run away, and then you could run up, attack something else. And so that other thing is still claimed by you. And now you're attacking something else. So I'm assuming, and then that thing goes off and attacks me, now the Iron Man. And so because you hit him once, are attacking something else, now it's still in combat, so its health won't reset because it's just attacking me.
Oh, like they need to do that better, like not in combat with the first person that attacked it.
Yeah, so it's like it
Oh.
doesn't matter that it can reset because it won't, because it's attacking me.
Okay, that makes sense.
And the other guy's not going to come back and attack it unless I run away.
That's a valid
So
concern.
often it just saves me time to just kill it. And then
And not get the
and
drop.
then not get the drop and then just continue on to the next thing.
Okay.
So this doesn't improve my life pretty much at all, but it could diminish it significantly. So I don't like it.
Okay. Next is improvements to chat. We've all been there. You're chatting away and you accidentally type one too many forward slashes and suddenly you're messaging the wrong channel. I hate when that happens. It feels so humiliating for no reason. This quality of life improvement would show the chat channel name before you send the message, updating dynamically as soon as you hit space. And they just go and shows clan chat. Because right now I think you type and then it like adjusts your channel after. It's like, why wouldn't you tell me where I was typing?
Yeah. And also, you just spoke so fast that I'm pretty sure that like 5 words was 1 word.
I know.
You said
It concerns me.
you said this quality of life improvement shows that just name before you send the message.
Do you know
Like,
how much
what?
it scares me knowing I talk fast and mumble when my job is to be on calls all day?
Yeah.
I have to actively try so hard to talk slow. I'm just like a quick mumbler.
Yeah.
It's my thing.
That's cool.
A new system. Bestiary.
But yeah, anyways, I think that
That's just obviously
the
good.
chat thing will be cool.
Yeah.
I've suggested they do that before in the past because every game does it that way and it works well.
Monster Examine is a pretty neat spell, but once the information is already up on the OSRS wiki, it becomes obsolete. We were talking about this the other week.
Yep, it's dumb.
We're giving it a new purpose with a collection system, the Bestiary. Killing a monster for the first time will add its basic info to the Bestiary interface. Using Monster Examine on it will reveal further information. The Bestiary also lets you access all the info you've gathered on any monster in the game in one handy place. For example, if you're about to head out on a greater demon task, you can open up the Bestiary and see all the places you've encountered them before, their weaknesses, and more, letting you plan your trip for maximum efficiency. If you like the sound of any of these concepts, let us know in the survey below. I like that one because it says, see all the places you've encountered them before, so you don't have to like Google and see where they spawn. I mean, it's kind of just like adding wiki stuff in game.
Yeah, I think it's cool. It's not useful enough that I wouldn't use the wiki.
Well, yeah, it's just a quality of life thing. This is not a game-changing
Yeah.
thing.
It's cool. I like it better than the way Monster Examine exists currently because it's pretty useless.
Yes.
No one's like, all right, let me go swap to Lunars. I got to check out what this monster is. All right, cool. Well, it's weak to fire. Let me go back and swap back to regular spells. Like, no one does that, man.
Maybe they will now.
I mean, especially if it was a demon, they're weak to water, so you'd have to go swap back. But unless you used ice spells, I don't even know if that counts.
I don't know.
But
I haven't been using Mage at any of the new things.
anyways, I think it's cool. Not super useful, but it's cool. The next thing is actually, I'm still not super, I'm guessing this is tied to sailing. It doesn't explicitly
is.
say that this is for sailing only, but I think it is.
It is, yeah. They say, you'll see in a second.
Yeah. So it says Small Islands is the name of it by Mod Tide, appropriately. Shogun, Other, and Errol. So it says, with sailing on the brain, our intrepid crew sets out to explore a couple of small island concepts. Sailing will bring a massive new area to the game world, and you'll want to populate it with small incidental bits of content, just like the mainland.
Well, yeah, that's where they say it. They want to populate sailing with stuff.
Well, yeah.
Okay.
I wish they would just say, this is an addition to sailing skill, because it kind of seems out of place considering we don't even have the skill, so I don't know why I would want to add this, because I don't even know what the skill is.
All right, we have a hater. Anyway,
I'm just saying, like, if they were like, oh, we want to add this new skill for shamanism,
I want
bro. I don't even
shamanism.
know what shamanism is. What am I gonna do in
I
that
wish I
skill?
knew what shamanism was.
Yeah, so it's like that's why I was kind of like this kind of feels like a nothing burger. Like I don't.
I don't think so. I don't agree.
Okay. It says our first point of interest could be a deep sea fishing platform where you could fish. Surprise, surprise. It's going to be loaded with all kinds of different fish, such as manta ray, sea turtles, halibut, and sunfish, all ready to bite. Plus, intrepid anglers have a chance to collect prawn balls, which you can spend on the angler's outfit for a new item, the loaded fish barrel. When you crack the keg open, you'll find fishy loot, and if you're lucky, a special prize. Just make sure to wear a nose peg. But they also say that they could host additional events on the fishing platform, such as swarm fishing, where you can catch random fish on your level. But there could also be prawn invasion encounters, salvage spots, and other treats.
Threats.
Same thing. Meanwhile, in the frozen north, two Fromnick brothers are primed and ready to serve you a sailing challenge, settle their contest, and they may be impressed that, or so impressed that they'll join your crew.
Yay,
So,
first NPCs to join.
yeah, it's kind of just like, kind of like what they said, like little do nothing, like little spots out
Well,
in the
yeah,
water.
this was just them further elaborating on the fishing platform because the deep sea fishing platform is something that they've mentioned like every time with sailing. Now we actually get to hear a little bit more detail about it.
Yeah, I guess
And
that's
the
cool.
prawns look goofy, so I can't complain.
It just feels so far away and so incomplete that it kind of feels like,
Well, yeah, it's just a beginner idea.
yeah, I don't know. It doesn't feel super tangible at the moment.
All right, next is some absolutely cloggers update by Mod Husky, Curse, and West. So, an interface rework to better track your collection log progress. Our first step was to update the collection log with a new interface, which enhances the tracking experience. Don't worry, it'll be optimal. The existing interface will still be the default, so you'll just switch them as necessary. They want to add some detailed sections for uniques, so the interface will clearly show how many unique items you have collected in each section of the log, including bosses, raids, clues, minigames, and the rest. Most recent 12 items. It does exactly what it says. So this feature would display the 12 most recent items you have added to your log, along with the dates you acquired them on. I actually like the date thing.
Yeah, I was just looking at they have like a little show of what this would actually look like, the interface, and their 12 most recent items are like full
Insane.
ancestral dins and all of the sigils. Like, all right.
And 2 rings from DKs only.
Yeah, only 2. Both from Rex.
They got
Oh,
bored.
actually no, that's only one's from Rex. Oh, they got the DX too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Collection ranks. How about a bit of competition? Collection ranks will show you how you stack up against other collectors and how far you are in your collecting journey. So there will be threshold for each rank. Bronze is 100, iron 300, steel 500, black 700. I don't have black, by the way. I do not have that many collection log slots. I saw that and was like, oh my god.
Yeah, I wouldn't even have iron.
Yeah. Mithril 900, adamant 1000, rune 1100, dragon 1200, and gilded 1350, which is 90% of the total log slots rounded down to the nearest 25. The dragon and gilded look so good.
Yeah, it's funny because, you know, how the turntables, when they said not that long ago they don't want collection log to be a competitive thing.
You know what they said is that they wanted to add high scores, but people in the community were saying they didn't want to be competitive.
I think that's what they said, and then they're like, oh wait, they actually want this.
I don't know. I like this idea. I mean, to be fair, this is just a small group of mods saying this.
Yeah,
So.
and again, they are showcasing the staff as well as the offhand book to show off which rank you are.
Yeah.
I did see
And the staff's
someone.
like dope.
I don't know if they were joking, but they added that you should have similarly colored clogs,
That would be hilarious.
like boots.
Yeah, like Dutch.
Yeah, so that would be really funny.
Yeah, and if they add these, then you can obtain your staff from the Collector and Varrock Museum. There's also some more collection log quality of life. So the updated collection log interface will offer greater flexibility and convenience. You'll be able to reposition and resize the log, allowing you to move it on your screen and adjust its size for a better view. And it looks like your character could actually still keep walking as well, which I don't know if it does that right now.
It does with the new and improved
Oh,
one.
okay, yeah.
And it's funny because in this example they have like 200 gilded items,
That should be me.
It was like 200.
That should be me.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure they have like 40 gilded shields. All right, cool.
They also want to add a collection log of high scores, which a little bit of sexism here. First place is Mr. Logger, but second place is Mrs. Logger.
Dude.
Why do men always have to get first place?
I'll show you what a real log looks like.
Is that like a poop joke?
I
Okay,
don't know.
anyway.
Who knows?
We'll include your collection log of progress in the high scores, just as we do for skilling, bosses, and raids. Collection log Iron Man exceptions. Currently, the collection log does not capture items from before December 2018, which can be pretty frustrating for Iron players who have already completed the grind and aren't keen to do it all again. We'll make it so that Iron players can use specific whitelisted items to fill certain slots. These items will, of course, be tradable items that were on the log from launch. We'll also accept alternative and upgraded versions of certain items, such as the Xeric crossbow in place of the Armadillo crossbow required to craft it. These exceptions will be available to Iron, Hardcore, and Ultimate Iron players, but not Group Iron players as they were introduced to the game after collection logs came out, therefore they don't need it.
Cool.
Of course, we'll look to pull this massive change, and should this project move forward, we'll publish a full list of whitelisted items for your feedback. In the meantime, though, let us know what you think. I like it.
Yeah.
I think it's cool, because I'm interested in collection logging. And
cool.
that would actually, I think that would incentivize me to collection log more.
Yeah, and they already showed something like that last year, and
Well,
I
they've
thought
already
it looked
talked
cool
about
back then.
I think they're just expanding on their own idea again.
Yeah. The next thing is Deposition and Reposition by Ash, Halo, and Arcane. Continuing the quality of life theme, the next project includes improvements for banking, allowing players to lock inventory slots that items aren't deposited from when banking, and updating the old bank deposit box menu to fix the layout and usability snags. So they do have a little mock-up of what it'll actually look like, and you can lock certain slots. Maybe you're wondering why you'd want to do that. Well, for instance, if you have like a spec weapon, a switch, chances are you're not going to need to deposit those every time you go back to the bank.
Yeah, like whenever I'm doing raids afterwards, I go and deposit all my like 1, 2, 3, and 4 dose pots and stuff because I was just using RAM stuff. So this way I won't have to like go in and manually click them. I could just lock all my gear in place and then deposit everything.
Yeah, exactly.
Actually, pretty handy. And skilling as well would be nice.
Yeah, really nice. And you'll be able to conveniently deposit your worn inventory without having to deal with the strange 7x4 inventory from the previous bank deposit interface. We've also swapped the deposit worn and loot bag deposit icons to stop you all misclicking and depositing all your gear by accident.
I feel like it's going to be an adjustment. We're going to start doing it again.
Yeah, that has happened a lot.
Yeah.
Anyways, they do show where you would have additional bank settings.
Yeah, I wasn't sure. Here, scroll up a little bit. Oh, it was just showing the locked inventory slots. He skipped past the title of it, so I was like, what is this about?
Well, yeah, because
continue.
they clearly show that they're locking inventory slots. They also show that there is going to be a deposit lock settings button, pretty much where all the other bank settings buttons are in the menu. And it seems to be toggleable, so you can do it via right-click toggle or in the more tap-friendly grid on the left. If a slot is locked, the bank or deposit box won't deposit items within that slot, even if you click or deposit your whole inventory by mistake. So you don't have to rely on bank fillers anymore if you don't want to.
Whoa.
Yep.
Nice.
One final bonus improvement is that there will be a setting to set a predetermined quantity you want to deposit when your items are deposited on a deposit box. Meaning you'll be able to easily deposit all your raw Quran wands or Zulrah scales without needing to specify the quantity each time.
I don't really use the deposit boxes.
Yeah, me neither.
The locking I do really like, though.
I am wondering where you would use this.
The deposit one?
Yeah.
I don't understand that. I don't use deposit boxes.
Oh, I understand this. Okay.
Elaborate.
So they're saying like when you use an item directly on a deposit box.
Oh, now you have to specify how many, huh?
Yeah, so
Okay.
now you can just set a quantity and it'll do that quantity every time.
Yeah. Oh, no, you're right, because I used to do that MLM.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess that makes more sense.
Next is Unrestricted Builds by Mod. Is it Minked or Minked?
Minked.
Minked. Old School RuneScape is all about forging your own journey, whether you're still learning the game or setting forth with a new account build for an epic challenge. Over the last 11 years, we've seen all kinds of account builds, but is there more we can do to help the community embrace new challenges? Starting out with some quest experience. In the last year, we started letting you decide whether you want to receive Quest XP rewards in the form of XP lamps, so you don't get any XP you don't want. However, several older quests still don't include this functionality. We'd like to change this, giving players full control of their journey. Adjusting this quest to give experience lamps would open the ability to get quest capes at much lower level, but we can still go further. Before we go further, though, I don't really even understand why this thing that they have to, like, mention. They could just be like, yeah, we made XP lamps. Is that too, like, optimistic of me to think that's not a big deal and they could just do that?
I think you're not thinking of it
Okay,
entirely.
well, what's bad about it?
Because a lot of people think this is not a good idea.
I know, which I don't understand why.
Well, one, it kind of
Before we go into the next part, though, specifically just the
specifically
what would be wrong with the XP lamps?
So, what I've seen, and the first thing I thought of is this is, well, a lot of people say this. I don't really agree with this first part. Is that a lot of people are like, oh, we're catering to weird accounts. That's what this change is.
Yeah, I just don't get why it matters if it's just an XP lamp. You just click it.
Yeah, well,
So
some of those
click it?
I'm not saying everyone is saying this, but some people would say that that accounts that already have gone through that and are already restricted, they don't get to like take advantage of that or whatever.
Yeah, but that's like the I wasn't able to do it, so no one else should be able to do it mentality, which I don't like.
Yeah, and then there's also people that, and this is what I thought of right away, and the only thing that I'm kind of interested in as far as like a counterpoint is like this kind of like doesn't ruin or anything, but it kind of feels like it might take away from restricted types of accounts, in the fact that like part of a restricted account is the things you can't do.
Yes.
So it's all like, if suddenly there's nothing you can't do besides whatever you're restricted to, like let's say your region locked, or let's say you have like one defense or something, and you can't do any of the quests that require defense or require you to do a certain thing that requires defense, then it kind of doesn't matter after this change potentially, because then you could just do it and it doesn't reward defense because if you have one defense, you can't do quests that reward defense.
Yeah.
Obviously, because then you would go above one.
Yes.
So this makes it so like now you can do those quests, and kind of removes what kind of made the restriction more interesting.
I think we're the opposite, but I think we are a little bit leaning too into the next subject, so I'll just finish reading and then we can discuss it more.
Well, they kind of go hand in hand.
Yeah, well, but we haven't mentioned the next part, which is quest requirements in general, because that was just talking about the rewards, but they also were discussing the requirement changes as well. So they're saying some quests have skill requirements because you need that skill level to complete them, but some are a bit arbitrary. Kind of what he was saying, like you need defense to do this quest, but you only have one defense. So an example would be Dragon Slayer 2 needs 50 hit points. For no real reason, you need 50 hit points to use the low care orb. But if we removed this requirement, players could attempt Vorkath and Galvic at 10 hit points. At Path of Gloffery, 47 range and 60 strength. It might seem that this is required to use a Mithril Grapple, but in actuality you could use a regular crossbow, so the ranged equipment is unnecessary. Requirement. While you can obtain a 30,000 XP strength lamp at the end of the quest, the quest itself doesn't actually use strength at all, so we could easily shift the requirement from the quest to the lamp, allowing players for all levels to tackle this epic tale. And King's Ransom 65 defense. This quest requires you to equip a full set of black armor, but last we checked that was 10 defense, not the 65 requirements. So we'd lower the defense requirement to this minimum and again shift the level 65 defense requirement to the XP lamp reward. Altering these skill requirements for these quests could allow players to obtain a quest cape at just 43 combat. Could you beat all these quest bosses at just 10 hit point? Now's your chance to find out. So that's what I was talking about. It's a little bit different. I don't mind this in general, because I think that it would be interesting to see, like, can people do Vorkath and Galvic with 10 hit points? Because there are points that in the fights where you get hit above that. So I think it'd have to be like very tick-eaty and specific, I think that could be interesting to see. What I don't like is how they're saying, which one was it? they're talking about King's Ransom, like switching it so they reward you defense in the XP lamp. I feel like changing the rewards would be weird. I was just thinking of, well, I don't mind is the rewards going from automatic XP to a lamp. Like that doesn't matter to me. Changing the words in totalities, maybe that's a little too catery, in my opinion.
Well, I mean, it's kind of the same thing, right?
I don't think
So,
so.
no, because they're saying that the reward is defense. So
Mm-hmm.
you could do the quest if all you did was not get the defense from
Mm-hmm.
completing the quest. So this now allows you to complete the quest. You don't get the
Oh.
reward.
Okay.
So they're saying they're locking the defense requirement to the XP lamp reward.
Okay, got
So
you.
they're
I
saying
didn't understand it.
if you don't take or if you don't use the XP lamp, then you can only use it if you have 65 defense.
That makes sense.
So you can't use the XP lamp.
That's
Um,
interesting.
yeah. So
I'm less opposed to it then.
I've seen two takes on this.
Yes.
Like one was kind of like what I was saying, like, oh, that the whole point of a restricted account is that the interesting part is that it's restricted.
Mm-hmm.
So this removes part of that.
Mm-hmm.
And I've seen another person. I don't necessarily agree with this, but I can see what they're talking about, where they're saying like, no matter what the type of account is, I will impose more restrictions as I see fit, essentially. So
Yeah.
for
People
them,
love their snowflake accounts.
yeah, for them, they're like, oh, I spent like 2,000 hours. This is a Reddit post, like I spent like 2,000 hours getting 99 Slayer on like a 10 HP account, and that was like fun for me. And even if they impose more stuff to make it easier, I potentially would or wouldn't do it that way because I make it difficult because I think it's fun.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like at that point, you're just choosing what to make more or less difficult for yourself, which is cool, and I get that, but like I don't know, like I guess if that's the case, then I don't get the point of a restricted account in general. Like you could just play a main and then play it like however you want, as restricted as possible.
I I just I think the opposite because people are like they ruins the restriction. I think that makes restricted more cool because now you're showing off that you could do all these things that you'd never even been able to attempt with your restrictions. Is how I was thinking of it. I know what you
I guess
mean
so.
though,
But I mean, you can do all of these things with 10 HP, but like
but you can't do DT2 at 10 hit points.
I mean, you could do it in a way
Well,
that
yeah, you
is
could
like possible.
on a main account
Exactly.
dwarf rock eat your way down, but then it's not the same because as you're healing, you'll probably heal over it.
Uh
It's harder. Like
no, yeah, you're right. You're right. I'm just saying like if you're doing it for the difficulty, like there are things like you could do it. Like you could brew down to like one strength for the fight or something, or like for the health, you could like yeah, like you said, rock eat down to one health, which would be the same as 10 for that fight.
I just don't think it would work out though. Because my thinking is now we're getting too deep into it. Like we should probably change the subject. But like
Well, I mean, if
if you're
the thing is for tick eating, you use sweets,
yeah,
which are unlimited stacking and only heal for like one health or something like that, which really wouldn't matter because if you take one hit, you die anyways.
mm-hmm.
So it wouldn't really matter how much it heals for, as long
Do they
as
only heal you one?
they heal for like practically nothing.
Yeah, but if you're only trying to do 10 hit points and you accidentally heal to 11, then it kind of ruins your entire trip.
Not really when like all of those hits will pretty much kill you.
I don't know. I think we're getting a little too deep into it, but I'm curious.
I mean, this is what a discussion is.
Okay.
So they heal 1 to 3 health. So there's no way you would heal like you would have to like I mean, I'm not saying that you should do it, but if it's just for the challenge of it, you could pretty easily reenact all of these things with these limitations on it. And also I feel like it takes away mostly because like all accounts are like the same. Like all restricted accounts are like potentially the same. Like if you're like, oh, I'm a Mauritania restricted account.
Mm-hmm.
Generally, people understand what that means. Not now. It's like, oh, but like if you take that away, it's like, did you do all of the quests that you're now allowed to do, or like, are you like an OG restricted account? It's not that I really care, but I'm just like, these are the different points of view that I've seen.
I just think that's such a weird point of view because I think that this would seem cooler than OG. I think if you're an OG, obviously your account's crazy if you're like 10 hit points. I think it's crazier if you're 10 hit points and you've gotten your entire quest cape and done all those quests. I think it's more of a flex. Is what I guess that's just what it boils down to for me is it seems harder. It seems like more of a flex. So I don't understand why people don't like that. You know what I mean?
I mean,
You don't have to agree with me, but like that makes sense, right?
well, it's definitely not gonna be all the quests. So that's kind of where I'm lost. Where it's like,
Well, they said right there you would be able to get your quest cape at like 50 combat.
yeah,
So I just don't get why people are saying that the OG way is better when this is harder and more of a flex, I guess. It doesn't actually matter to me. I have no interest in making one of these accounts. I just thought it was interesting because, like, I thought this would seem cooler, so I was surprised people didn't think it was cooler.
yeah. I don't know. I
Okay.
don't really care.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't. I don't know.
Okay, it's fine.
Yeah.
Neither of us have these accounts, so it doesn't really matter. It's just
I
kind of interesting.
I do. I don't know. I do think it is kind of dumb just for all the quests to be XP lamps though.
You like the instant satisfaction of just seeing a level up right after?
No, just I like that it makes sense to me that things are rewarded to you, and if you are foregoing it, then that's up to you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've never really liked catering to like snowflake accounts, not because it like changes my experience in any way, mostly just because like I feel like that's like part of the account. Like I don't.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, oh, I want to. That'd be the same as like doing hardcore. This is obviously not the exact same, but it'd be like doing hardcore, and then they're all like, oh, but actually now Tob is safe.
No, I don't. I don't
That's what it
know.
feels like.
To you,
they're like,
yeah.
oh, this is a restricted account. You cannot die on this account. Actually, this place is fine now. That's why I always thought hardcore accounts were kind of dumb, because you can die a trillion times in chambers if you want.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't make sense. I'm like, why the continuity breaking of that
Well,
aspect?
yeah, they broke the continuity with the other raids by making them not safe on death.
I mean,
Their original plan was safe there.
yes and
'Cause it was
no.
the
There's
first
plenty of
raid.
other content that's like, CG, one of the hardest content in the game, and it's not safe. So,
Oh, I just meant raids specifically, because other raids you can die.
yeah, I guess so. But yeah, I guess that's like my point is like, I'm like, oh, this is a restricted account. This is what you chose to do. I I guess I don't see the point of doing this thing to make weird ways to get around it. If you're going to try and get around it, just I don't know, don't play that account.
I know what you mean. I guess I just don't agree. I just think that it'd be more of a flex, really.
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know. I
Are you mad at me?
No, I just kind of think it's like funny. Like I don't really see how it's like any of this stuff is a flex. Like a flex to me is like whenever you get like, a low HP fire cape.
Yeah, this would be like doing low HP Vorkath. I feel like that's a flex.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you might be right. Like I guess it could be, but
It all just depends on what you objectively find to be a flex, I guess.
yeah. I mean, it's all up for like opinion and stuff like that. I just don't really see the point.
Okay.
Yeah, to like what end? It's like not like you could just make a all ones account and then have access to like the hardest like content.
But again, in my head, like I feel like that would just be like a flex if you did it.
I guess
I'm not
so.
saying it should be a thing, but
I'm just like wondering like who cares at that point.
I mean, no one really cares about these specific accounts except for the people who do them, you know? Like if you're like one defense doing all this stuff, like you like that. It doesn't matter to us. It's just personal satisfaction.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm not asking like in a literal question. Obviously.
You hate me. No, you
No,
hate me.
I don't know
You
why
said
you think I'm like asking
obviously?
you as if like you're like a 1 HP account or something.
Can we move on? I feel
Yeah,
like
let's look at something else equally as dumb.
I feel like you're yelling at me.
We can look at chivalry.
You're reading it because you just got sassy and you said the stuff I liked was dumb. I don't actually like it that much even. I just don't understand people don't like it. But whatever. I don't want to get back into it because we were talking about that for a while.
Yeah.
Chivalry.
We can talk about chivalry. So everyone knows what chivalry is.
The useless prayer.
The prayer that's awarded to you from King's Ransom, which everyone immediately does the next thing for you to get piety. Chivalry requires 60 prayer, piety requires 70, and that's why everyone just does piety, because chances are you have 70 prayer.
Yeah, you get them in the same exact place for context.
Yeah, and with the same exact unlocks. So chances are you have 70 prayer whenever you do this quest, and so you just use piety. No one ever really uses chivalry. So they say that they like to put chivalry in a better place. Combined with the XP lamps changes above, we can give players chivalry as a reward from Holy Grail instead. So this is a much, much earlier quest, requiring much less time on your account. That's not all, sorry. We'd like to rework chivalry to improve its usability. We'd remove the defense %, but also allow players to use it in combination with Steel Skin. This would allow players to switch between Eagle Eye, Mystic Might, and Chivalry without turning Steel Skin off.
Oh.
Making it feel more in line with switches like Rigor, Augury, and Piety.
I kind of forgot why they said that, and I was like, why?
Yeah. Since we're removing the defense %, we'd also like to remove the defense requirement, provided a player has 60 prayer and has completed the Holy Grail. They'll have access to Chivalry, at least until they level up a bit.
Okay. I like that because, the whole reason is you'll actually be forced to use Chivalry for a little bit before you unlock Piety.
Yeah.
It's fine. I'm okay with it. I don't think I've ever used Chivalry.
Yeah, I don't know. This is like a change entirely for an account I'll never be interested in. This is for a one defense PvP account, essentially.
That wasn't my impression.
They're removing the defense requirement.
No, I'm just thinking about the first part. Is that they're making it, I'm talking about the reward from Holy Grail instead.
Yeah.
To me, that's just because no one uses it, and they're just saying, like, why do we have this useless prayer? Now you'll actually have to use it for a little bit. I'm not thinking of the other part of it.
I guess so, but as someone that's done this 3 times, or, even more at this point, I probably will just get all of them done in, like, a week anyways, unless it's, like, a super restricted account.
Brag.
No, because King's Ransom doesn't have that high requirements. The only requirement that's even, like, remotely high is prayer.
But it is significantly later than, what's it called? Holy Grail, right?
Yeah, it is a bit later, but
so you just unlock a bear prayer sooner.
Yeah, I guess so, but that prayer is, like, I wouldn't even have the prayer to use that prayer for a long time anyways, so...
Whenever you unlock Holy Grail.
Yeah, for instance, I had access to, on my GIM, I had access to Chivalry for, like, a week or 2, but I couldn't use it because I didn't have enough prayer.
Oh,
to use
that's
it.
Weird.
Because on the Iron Man, like, you just have to sit there for 14 hours killing dragons in order to get enough bones to get 70 prayer.
I forgot about that grind.
So I just didn't, level up my prayer until I had all the bones. So by that point, I had finished King's Ransom and the Waves a long time ago, and still couldn't have access to Chivalry or Piety. So I don't know. It's still a pretty high requirement for, like, a GIM, so that's why I think this is, or for an Iron Man in general. So I think that's why I think it's more aimed at people that can easily get the other requirements.
Okay.
Like a PvPer.
Fair.
But I guess it's cool.
I was just thinking the quest part, the defense part, I have no idea.
Yeah.
But it's fine. I'm just so into my regular account. I have a very hard time thinking of stuff like this situation because I'm like, I don't ever plan on doing that again.
Yeah.
I'm sure I will someday.
Yeah,
but I have
or
no
never
intentions.
again. Who knows?
No, my hardcore.
Yeah. Definitely you'll live to see that tale.
Oh my god. He said I'm going to die soon.
But, yeah, so I think it's cool moving it because no one uses Chivalry. Yeah. I just think people will still not use Chivalry.
Okay,
Except for with the removed defense requirement, now all the PvPers that have 1 defense will use it.
All right. Next is some content variety by Modbanked.
More gross PvP stuff.
Yeah, I'm just going to breeze through this because I don't care about PvP straight up. So, also I want to say that this part was very deceiving. Robert read this to me on the phone when I was on my break, and I did not realize it was about PvP at first. You'll see. So 1 defense Perilous Moon's armor. It costs 1.5 mil to repair a piece of the Perilous Moon's armor, which at the time of writing makes it more expensive to repair than to buy a new piece. Let's even out the cost and make repairing worth it. So you think, oh my god, they're gonna like lower the price of repairing. No, somehow this is about PvP. I have no idea
Yep.
why they started it like
This
that.
is about, to put it into perspective, this is the way I hear it whenever she's about to say what she's about to say. This is for giving one defense PvPers access to nearly Barrows items.
Yeah.
Or nearly Bandos items, sorry.
So our plan is to generate a new rare drop from the lunar chest in Nepotsli. I don't know. This drop could be combined with a broken armor piece on an anvil to create a new variant of the Perilous Moon armors with reduced defensive stats. Since we're reducing defensive stats, we'd also remove the defense requirement, adding variety for 1, 20, and 45 defense builds. On PvP death, the broken pieces would be removed and the rare drop item dropped for the PKer. This means that broken armor pieces will be constantly removed from the game, fixing the pricing issue for the sets. It'll reward PKers and further reward mid-tier players engaging with Perilous Moons, a win for everyone. I just feel so bamboozled because their first sentence, you're like, oh my god, they're going to lower the price. And then it's not about that at all.
Yeah, I think this is such a ridiculous thing to type this out and not think about the sentence you just typed. Because it says,
I just don't get how it relates to the rest.
it costs 1.5 mil to repair the Perilous Moon's armor, which at the time of writing makes it more expensive to repair than to buy a new piece.
I get what they're trying to say. They're trying to make the value of Perilous Moon's armor go up, so it's worth more than 1.5. But the way I was reading it was you're going to lower that 1.5.
I'm just thinking that is the way more obvious thing to do. Why not just reduce it and add this so it's easier to do?
I don't know.
For instance, this gear is pretty good. It costs 300k to repair a Barrows piece.
Mm-hmm.
So these pieces are not 5 times as good or as rare. So I don't know why they cost 5 times as much to repair.
I don't know. Stuff's just getting more expensive than newer things that they add.
Yeah, it's also dumb because, I mean, obviously this is geared towards people that can use the Grand Exchange. So all the other stuff you get, you can sell. And you can pay for it. 1.5 mil is like nothing in the main game. I don't know who you're joking with.
It was for me whenever I first started.
1.5 mil is practically not. You can.
Do you remember how bad I used to be at money making?
Bro, you can get Chinchampas for a couple hours and afford to repair one of the pieces. So just go like do a skill, any skill, for a few hours, and you can repair all the pieces. So
I felt like these were two disconnected points connected together.
I'm like, what? And also, so you're making it so, and they said they're reducing the defensive stats specifically, so they are giving level 1 defense builds access to what is essentially Bandos gear.
I just wonder how annoying this would be that every time you search like the Blood Reaper or whatever, there's 4 different versions of the gear.
Yeah. No, it's going to be 1.
Oh, and then you combine stuff to make it the others.
No, I think he's just pointing out for the 1 defense, the 20 defense, and the 45 defense builds, they will now be able to use this. I'm not reading it as there's going to be the main set of armor and then 3 more sets of armor. I'm just reading it as now those other 3 types of builds will be able to benefit from this.
Well, they're reducing the stats on the gear itself too.
The defensive stats, yeah.
Yeah, which is like weird. Does that mean that every time that you go to like equip the hat, it's going to like track like which version of the stats we need to give you? It just seems really weird.
No, the way I'm thinking about it is like, let's pretend like a Blood Moon chest piece gives you like 50 of all defenses. I'm guessing that they're just going to make it so, all right, you have the like broken reinforced piece. So now all the defenses are 10 and the combat offenses are still the same though.
Yeah.
And that'll just be for anyone that equips it. Like it won't change.
So everyone will get lower defense on it?
Yeah.
I don't think that's what they mean. I hope that's not what they mean.
So you think there's going to be a 1 defense requirement, a 20 defense requirement, and a 45 defense requirement blood piece?
Yes, because they're saying that we're adding variety for each build.
Yeah.
And to generate a new drop from it. I don't know. That's what it sounds like to me. To create a new variant of the Perilous Moon's armor. To me, that reads as it's going to be like, you know how we have all those rune shields that are like rune H1, rune H2? Like, it kind of seems like it's going to be like that. But obviously, you know, this is very early on. There's not much detail. It doesn't matter to me. I'm not into PvP. It's just I did feel bamboozled with the way that you made it sound like you were going to lower the prices, and then you didn't.
Yeah,
I don't use Peerless Moons, but I'm thinking for irons, like Robert was like, it's so expensive. I don't even know if it's worth grinding early.
Yeah. I was just thinking it sounds more like, you know how there's fortified Masori?
Yes.
I was thinking it's just like that.
Yeah, so there is 2 versions of it then.
Yeah, that's what I said.
I misunderstood. It's fine.
Yeah, I'm just saying there's only going to be one downgraded version, and that's going to require 1 defense.
I thought you were saying that everyone's gear would stop having defensive stats.
No, man.
Whenever I listen back to this, I'm going to listen for that.
Dang.
I blame you.
Yeah? I mean,
Yeah.
you're the one getting critiques saying you don't listen well enough, so...
Stop, I almost cried. That was so messed up.
Anyways, they also... This is some crazy stuff. I don't even know what this is.
I have no thoughts on this. I'm not in a PvP.
Modmate is on some demon time, dude. Modmate is suggesting a PvP-specific prayer book. Yeah.
Are you going to read it?
I'm not even going to read it.
I think we should read it. There's PvPers that listen.
Okay.
Probably
not. So the gap between different PvP builds has significantly widened over the years, and a major factor is prayer requirements. I mean, they just gave everyone chivalry, but a big chunk
That's
of...
a different person recommending that.
This is the same person.
Is it actually? Mogmink did the content variety. Oh, yeah. They have 2 different sections.
This is the same person.
I don't know why they put them in 2 different sections.
Modmate is like the only one that works on PvP stuff.
I literally feel like Robert's like heated and angry at me right now. That was the angriest laugh I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah, I don't care about PvP, so that's
He
funny.
cares so much.
A big chunk of DPS and accuracy is locked behind high-level prayers, the defense requirements, combined with the tanky armors available in high defense areas. There's no competition for account builds with lower defense, except for the bunch you just made. We could add more variety with a PvP-specific prayer book that can only be used in the wilderness. This keeps any prayers changes safely out of the way of the people who prefer prayer the way it is, while giving niche accounts builds the chance to compete in the big leagues. Just make a big league account. It would also give us the opportunity to add new PvP prayers in the future without affecting the rest of the game. There are 2 steps in this process: implementing similar prayers without defense requirements and introducing new prayers over time, catered to specific PvP builds. So do you have no thoughts? Or?
No thoughts. I'm not PvP. I wouldn't vote for this, but because I'm not PvP, I don't even think I'd be allowed the opportunity to vote for this.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter to me.
True. We
You're
would not
PvP
be allowed to vote on this.
Yeah, I don't know why we're getting so like into these discussions that I don't think we'd even be allowed to vote on. Because they do add restrictions.
I mean, the other ones
sometimes.
are quest stuff.
Oh, true. Yeah, but like
Yeah.
the armor and stuff, I feel like they'll probably set restrictions so we can't vote, which is fine with me. You know, PvPers vote for whatever you want.
You'd still be able to do it as a 1 defense regular account. You don't have to be a PvP account.
Okay. Well, the prayer book then.
Yeah. I was like, I mean, you can just be like a Zerker account that just likes, I don't know, maybe you're like, I'm a 1 defense scythe user.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I don't know. I don't think this is insane. I think it's insane to suggest all this stuff and this. I think I've always thought that games are better when PvP is designed separately from the main game.
Like PvP worlds only.
But no, just when you do PvP stuff, all the PvP stuff that you'd expect are active. Like maybe, like for instance, in World of Warcraft, they have really good PvP. Usually, and
Usually, the pause there.
the thing is, like, your abilities do different things. They deal different amounts of damage. You take different amounts of damage. There are things that you expect when PvPing that are completely different from the main game because they're designed and balanced separately.
Mm-hmm.
So the fact that I've always thought it's a problem, I think it'll always be a problem when there are games that are designed and balanced with PvE and PvP within the same account,
Yes.
using the same abilities without them being balanced separately.
Okay.
So I think they could do that, but I think they'd have to overhaul like all of the PvP stuff ever. So
Yeah, reading about PvP stuff is just kind of exhausting.
True.
Because I'm so not into it that I'm like, I don't even know what to think. I don't know if I'm being like rude by not caring, but like I don't care.
yeah,
I'm sorry.
dude, they should just bring back RuneScape 2 and get rid of the wilderness.
They got rid of the wilderness for that? That's so funny.
I'm pretty sure. When did they remove the wilderness?
Isn't it not RuneScape 3?
Oh, yeah, that's what. Yeah. That's
Oh,
what
you
I'm
said
saying.
RuneScape 2. I was like, huh?
Well, 2 then 3.
I just play OSRS, man. Never mind.
Okay. Yeah, let us know when they remove the wilderness and
if they should in this game,
if they
too.
should do it again, dude.
Drama.
Bank filter. You know, they should have added shamanism, and the alternate world should have been all PvP.
That would have been kind of terrifying.
Everyone would have voted for it.
That would have been so funny.
We have more stuff. Bank filters.
Yes. Yeah, by mod Lycos?
Don't ask me. I'm not them.
No one knows. Meanwhile, back at the bank, this team has been working on a new and exciting feature that'll make sorting a breeze. So introducing bank filters. These are a great little way to sort through your items. So Mod Lycos has created an interface with 2 drop-down boxes on the left. The left lets you pick between resources and wearables, and the right applies extra filters, such as like headwear, capes, etc. So the categories on the left are split up into resources, covering things used in combat for skilling, and wearables, anything you can equip. On the right side, you can select whether you want to view just tradable, non-tradable, or items that can be sold on the GE. To clear your filters and view everything, just click the reset button at the bottom right. Each category is labeled with how many items of the category you've got, so you can use it to get a quick overview of how many bank spaces you're using on what kind of things. This feature works with tabs, so if you pick a tab, then the filters will only apply to the items in it. If you'd rather embrace the chaos and see no filters at all, you can always turn it off in the settings menu. These categories are not set in stone, so let us know if you can think of anything else that will help on your adventures through Gilnor. I like organizing stuff, so this sounds fine to me.
Yeah, I won't use this, so yeah.
Okay, fair.
I mean, I know the name of it, so I'll just type in what I'm looking for.
Well, I was thinking if you're like, sometimes like I'll forget like certain things that I have, and I'll be like, which weapons do I have? And like I have to go and just kind of look through every one of my tabs to see which kind of weapons I have. So I could just search like that.
Oh, I don't know if it's because I'm like
I'm a hoarder.
super into late game or because I'm an Iron Man or both. But yeah, I'm like, oh, melee, using the zombie axe.
No, for me it's like so much different things to use. So I think it's kind of cool, and
okay,
I like.
We get it. Wow.
And
we
I
have
like
so
organizing.
much money.
Anyway, can we get to the best part of this?
Yeah. So they're adding puffins to the game.
Puffin's already in the game.
Not this one.
Not this little guy.
Yeah, Mod Freddy is adding more puffins.
Shout out Mod Freddy.
A new mini game called a Puffin Parade.
Yeah, 2 cuddly quests.
Yeah, so this is going to be in the Arty Zoo. It's to celebrate the newest inhabitants. All is going well until the puffins remember they can fly. And then the race is on to track them down and get them safely home again. The wayward water birds have made their way to the docks and shipped out to ports all over Gilnor, replacing the familiar seagulls.
I don't even want to finish this quest. I want to start it just so there's little puffins all around Gilnor and then just leave it.
So that's a quest. And then this next one is also a quest and expands on the penguin quest line as you re-infiltrate the iceberg and learn what those sneaky...
Penguins. It means penguins.
Yeah, penguins are plotting.
And it's also called Seabirds of a Feather, by the way. It's kind of a cute name.
The penguins, however, give you a frosty reception. They don't like you. To earn their trust, they ask you to secure new allies, the puffins. After rescuing the puffins in a heist-like minigame, they agree to join their feathered comrades and spy on humanity's naval capabilities. And that's it.
So they're back at the docks again, so we'd still get them at the docks.
Yeah, so there's 2 puffin quests by Mod Freddy.
So we get a little preview of them at the docks, we lose them, and then we get them back at the docks.
Yeah.
Thank God.
And then this next one is probably the best, in my opinion, of all of them, because people will stop crying.
And this is something that we have talked about previously as well. So this is Charges Quality of Life by Mod Rice. Charges are a very well-discussed topic in the community, with many of you looking for permanent upgrades as opposed to temporary buffs. Mod Rice spent Game Jam looking at possible solutions to some of the biggest issues. First being corruption. We know you want a way to corrupt some items when they're chargeable. However, this process would increase the cost of an item, which means that players who have already spent time or gold acquiring the base item resent having to save even more before they can even use it. To solve this problem, we'd introduce a new mechanic where use charges contribute to the corruption process. For example, if a BOFA has used 700 charges, only 1,300 more charges would remain to fully corrupt it. So it's kind of like a little progress bar as you use charges.
Yeah, I remember last time I brought this up, you didn't like it.
Now I'm okay with it. I don't know why I didn't like it before, but now I think it's fine.
Okay. And the next one to,
maintain charges.
Maintain charges. This is actually pretty easy. Just you can set it up so that whenever you withdraw an item from the bank, it will automatically recharge charges based on the settings that you have for all your weapons or
Yeah.
items.
So you take out your blow pipe and it'll just charge it.
Yeah,
Kind of
so
cool.
yeah, for the blow pipe, it'll automatically charge it, and then it'll charge based on how many you said, assuming you have the items. If you
Yes,
don't have
you
the
have
items,
to have the items in your bank, otherwise it will not get charged.
yeah, if you don't have the items, it won't charge it. And this also makes it so you don't have to take items out or anything like that. It just, as soon as you take your, toxic trident out, it'll charge it.
Yes.
Um,
And there'll be settings, I'm sure, to toggle this off if for whatever reason you don't want to.
Yeah. So they are also for items with special charging requirements, such as the scythe. For example, we look into introducing new items that you could add to your POH, saving you the trek to Versenhazen.
Yeah, our very own fire well.
Yeah. So that will pretty much end everyone crying about Chargescape, assumedly.
I mean, there will definitely still be charge save
So
unless they corrupt everything.
They could just make every item going forward chargeable, so
Okay.
people can stop.
People complain about
doing
everything
that.
ever.
No.
Next is Mini Menu by mods Linny, Lycos, and Kieran. I think I'm switching how to pronounce their name over and over, but that's fine.
Okay.
So this project aims to bring quality of life energy to the right-click menu. So items in inventory currently can hold up to 5 options, with the use awkwardly shoved in the middle. Items you're wearing can have up to 8 options. Most of the time this is fine, but we've got a couple of items that need more space. Sadly, we used to be held back by technical limitations, but now with a bit of engine tech magic, we can add sub-menus to the right-click menu. We've used this power to put a bit of polish on some iconic old-school items, such as the Ring of Dueling. So now you no longer have to click it and, it shows in your chat box and you choose from there, which, by the way, is interrupted by combat. Now you can right-click it, scroll over rub, and then it will show like a little sub-menu and you can choose from there. It's actually really nice. There's been a lot of times I've tried to telly and I cannot telly places.
Yeah, it's really, really nice. And they show an example of the Max Cape, which has a option for the crafting guild, guild teleports, skilling locations, all that stuff. So
Seems huge for the Max Cape.
this will save you a ton of option selecting. So
Yeah.
it'll make it a lot easier.
That's dope. You can still click on the top level options and get the original menu if you prefer, but we've worked to make sure it feels slick and natural. The sub-menus close with a small delay, so you can still use them even if your mouse movement is a little imprecise here. Yow! I'm sorry, that was dumb. We've tweaked over 15 items from simple favorites like the Amulet of Glory to high-level rewards like the Construction Cape. This is just a start though. This new tech can be used on any object or interface element, so opens many opportunities for future updates. I love that previously they could not do submenus. They're like, this new crazy tech.
Yeah,
It's a
kind of weird.
submenu. One last thing. We can finally move use from the awkward middle spot, so items like Drake's Medallion, the Enchanted Gem, and the Pharaoh Scepter have their special options listed together with use and examine at the bottom where they belong.
Huge.
Yeah, before they were randomly just in the middle.
Now you can be expecting or know where to expect to use.
Yeah.
And I'm going to completely skip this. Sorry, Mod Sarni. I really do not care about trading card games.
You know what? I was reading it. This actually did sound a little fun. But I don't like trading cards.
Yeah.
We can read the too long didn't read right there.
Yeah, I think this is pretty cool for players that like trading cards, but we have talked about this a few times in the past, and it's not saying like I want it to be done, but it's still not done. It's just an update on Mod Sarni's little home project called Trading Card Games.
Look at the versions, how much simpler it used to look back then. Now it looks so much better.
Looks way better, for sure.
It does.
Huge improvement. But they say that you can visit the original Game Jam post from the past if you want a longer, but there's a too long didn't read. It says you play in a 1v1 battle using a character, which you'll level up using various other cards until you're ready to defeat your opponent. At the same time, the event deck could change the tide of battle, potentially your entire strategy, because there are things like events, items, equipment, characters, and even battlefields that can be changed. So I think overall it'll be a cool game whenever it is done.
Yeah. It does sound fun, but there's just something about reading instructions on card games that makes me want to throw up.
Especially ones that don't exist.
Yeah, they're harder because they're not even finished.
But that is also it for this update.
Yeah, for the Game Jam.
Yeah, there's a survey on if you want to leave any feedback, or you can just leave feedback over on the Discord and stuff like that. But overall, I think it was a pretty good Game Jam.
A lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Not as much.
Pretty okay.
Not as much like random little things like before we'd get excited about a dog or a capybara. And now it's like feels more expansive than in the past. I don't
Yeah,
know, more like well thought out, I guess.
more actual stuff. It kind of
Yeah.
felt like I liked it, but also it kind of felt like there was multiple things that were pretty much the same. Like I think there was like 4 or 5 bank things. I feel like you could have just like done all that in like one post.
Yeah, I guess it's because they're on different teams.
Yeah, I mean it makes sense. It just felt like I was like, oh, a bank thing, oh, a bank thing, oh, a bank thing.
There was a lot of bank stuff. But anyway.
But yeah. Anyways, we move on to questions.
Yeah, so our first question is from Kurt over on Spotify. So if you guys don't know, by the way, on Spotify you can like post questions and listeners can answer. So like I'll read Kurt's answer as well. So I was asking about what everyone thinks about the run energy suggested changes, and they actually thought that the run energy suggested changes were fantastic. Which I can't relate, Kurt. I'm sorry. I can't relate. Anyway, question for the show.
Yeah. The thing is, well, before we get into it, I do think the changes would be fantastic for additional agility training.
Yeah, just not.
I just think it would suck for everything else.
Okay. So, what are your Sepulcher PBs? It was agility skill of the week for me, and I locked up second place with 2 million XP and 94 in agility strictly in Sepulcher. So, we got our PBs pulled up here. I didn't even know that there's a like little leaderboard inside of Sepulcher that you could check. So we'll go each floor and share our PBs. Robert has a lot more completions than me. Let's say our completions too, yeah?
Well, we could just sum it up. I have 350 of the first 3 floors each.
I have 91, 90, and then 66. Well, that's why I thought we should do it. I don't know. I did it weird. Anyway,
Yeah.
floor 1, I've done 91 and my PB is 38 seconds. Robert has done 358 and has a PB of 28 seconds, a full 10 seconds less than me.
Yeah, pretty good. The second one is even better. You have 90 with a best of 48 seconds. I have 355 with a best of 34, so 14 seconds better.
Jesus Christ. Third floor, I have 66 completions. My best time is 1 minute and 34 seconds.
And
Robert has done 352 completions with a best time of 101.
Yeah. And then finally, floor 4 is 28 completions, or yours is 14 completions rather, with a 226 best, and mine is 28, so exactly twice as many with a 151 best, which is 35 seconds.
I would like to specify for these PBs that I check every loot thing that I can, and he does not on the first 3 floors, I believe. Right?
I don't loot the first 2 floors anymore. I usually loot the 3rd, and I always loot the 4th.
Okay, so the 3rd, your PB could have been without looting in it, potentially?
Yeah, my 3rd is definitely without looting.
Oh, okay, got you.
Yeah, my 4th, I always loot at least one of them. The thing is, I used to not be able to loot the ashes one, the prayer one.
Oh, you didn't have them, yeah?
So, if that was the only one available, then I didn't loot that.
Okay. Yeah, I try to loot every one unless I forgot the items, which is rare.
Yeah.
But I'm also just, like, not that great at Sepulcher, to be honest. I need more practice.
Yeah, definitely not the best.
All right, next question is from Harger over on Discord. OSRS has very limited ways to improve the body condition of your player. I think it'd be interesting to have methods to do cardio, stretch, do strength training, etc. to improve your performance. It would also be cool if you got out of form if you go well without doing cardio, strength training, etc. Are there any games that have such a system, and could OSRS benefit from it? Sims has that, actually. If you don't work out, your sim will get bigger.
Nice.
Yeah, but, like, you just run all day, and then you're back to it.
Yeah.
It's pretty simple. I don't think it would matter with stuff like this, because it's not like The Sims. It's not really, like... What kind of game is Sims? Like a real-life game.
It's like, almost like it's a sim.
It's a simulator. A real-life simulator. I don't think in RuneScape it would matter as much.
Yeah.
Like, your character would change, but you wouldn't know. Unless maybe it, like, affected your agility. But I don't think I'd love that. But yeah, Sims is the only game I can think of that does do something like that.
The thing is, I wouldn't want this in the game, but I do think it would be kind of cool potentially if, like, you came back to the game after a while being away and maybe your character, like, was, like, I don't know.
Slower?
Yeah, maybe they were slower, or maybe they were, like, visibly smelly because they haven't, like, showered in a long time.
That reminds me of Animal Crossing. If you don't log in for 2 weeks, you get bedhead.
Yeah.
You unlock a hairstyle.
Like that, or like maybe like there's like visual indicators that like whenever you go up to a fair ring, like you look confused, like you forgot that these existed or something.
That's funny.
I think it would be cool. I don't really think it has a place in the game, but I think it would be cool
Like
if
a
this
funny
was
little
like a
thing.
single player game.
Okay, fair. Matt asked, what would your thoughts be on adding random church services to the game? In a random world in a random church every hour, a priest will host a 15-minute service where players can attend and get 50% more XP when using bones of the altar while wearing the appropriate god's attire. If the player is not wearing the attire, there is no bonus. If the player is wearing another god's attire, the attending NPCs can attack you. I think this could make prayer more fun. You'd have to be prepared to quickly teleport and switch worlds when someone on probably a clan chat or Discord finds the location. The rest of the 45 minutes, you would do another skill and prepare again for finding the next service. I think this would be a lot like Shooting Stars in a way, but like worse.
Yeah.
Because I don't think that there should be. I mean, your example specifically with prayer. I think that prayer you get so much XP per hour anyway that we don't really need something like this for prayer. And yeah, no, that's my main thought. It's kind of like Shooting Stars, but a little too busted, maybe.
Yeah. I really don't like this.
Robert's just like a super atheist, and that's the reason why.
No, it's because of the bonus.
The bonus is a little too much.
The bonus is really big.
It's some RuneScape 3 vibes.
I mean, the thing is, people go into the wilderness and are held hostage on like 20k worth of dragon bones for, the experience reward there. So it's like there's already a pretty high risk way to train prayer that you can do all the time. So it's like, I don't know why you wouldn't just go there, because I'm assuming this 50% would be additive like everything else.
Yeah, I'm guessing it could just be I feel like it would be nice for the community vibe, like Shooting Stars. It does feel nice that there's a lot of people there and everyone's chatting. I think that's cute. I think it would, if something like this was added, it'd have to be a lot less than 50% more XP though.
Yeah, I think
because
people
you would
kinda
have no
go-
risk because you wouldn't be going to the wilderness.
Yeah, I was like, people kind of go wild over like really small XP increases, so 50% is like a lot.
Yeah.
And 15 minutes is like not very long.
That's fair.
Yeah. I think it's an interesting idea. It's kind of similar to Hargard, where I think it's interesting, but I don't know if it has a place in RuneScape necessarily.
Yeah, exactly. I feel the same way.
I'm a big fan of random events in general in games, but not like hourly events that are like
I think
pseudo necessary.
think if they're hourly, they're called disruptions and distractions. That's what Shooting Stars is.
Yeah, because it's like
something like that.
Yeah, because it's like, all right, cool. I'm doing prayer. I'm killing this boss. Oh snap! It's 7:15.
That's kind of how it would feel sometimes with Shooting Stars.
Yeah, you're like, I gotta go
is a little
clock in.
frustrating.
I gotta go clock in for my time down at the church, dude.
Yeah.
Because if I don't, I'm gonna feel like an idiot because I'm not doing it efficiently, and it's only up for 15 minutes.
Yeah, I
So
feel you. Maybe less XP, longer than 15 minutes.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like it would be interesting because I don't know. I like it's too rewarding. I think is the main thing.
I'd agree.
Yeah, and it's too. I'm not a fan. That it is a little too religious for me, but yeah, I think it's a little too rewarding. I like things that interrupt. If they're like less rewarding, maybe just as rewarding as what you're doing, maybe a little bit better, so that it doesn't feel like a waste or a pain to do it. Like, for instance, if you're like wood cutting and then the forestry event pops up, you're like, this is cool. I'm getting XP.
Yeah.
I'm getting loot. So I think that's cool. It was too cool. And we saw, the result of that. They nerfed it like a million times and everyone was doing it and exploiting whatever they could. So it's like they nerfed it too much. So I think we kind of already know what we would expect from that. I think it would be cool if they added something like this, but maybe in a different way. I like the touring aspect of it. So if they added something similar where they went to different churches, got a little bit of a bonus, like maybe instead of being a 50% chance for your bones to not despawn, maybe it was like a 5% chance, like a really small chance.
Yeah.
But I mean, at the end of the day, you're still doing them at a regular altar, so maybe higher, because you're not getting the lit altar thing
Oh, I was
going
thinking
on.
compared to the chaos altar in the wilderness
Well, you know what?
specifically.
Maybe you could do this, and it could be fairly cool if this happened every once in a while. But it would only be for like one inventory,
Oh, okay.
and it's like they're
So
like all right, cool. You get a 25% because the altar's not lit. You get like a 40% or a 30%. It could even be 50%. I don't know how the XP would work out. But so you're getting the base XP, not the 250% XP
yes,
or the 500 from other places, but you have a chance to get your bones back for one inventory. So like maybe you're like,
that's
"Oh,
more
cool. It's
interesting.
at Camelot. That's right next to a bank. Let me go grab some bones and go, smash out an inventory real quick."
Yeah.
And then maybe you get, 10,000 XP or something. And then you go back on your way. I don't know.
Okay, that's more interesting. Yeah, the way you suggest is a little too busted, ma'am. Sorry.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, that is it for our Q&A this week.
Yeah, that seems pretty good. Thanks again
Mhm.
for asking your questions.
Thanks.
I enjoyed answering them. And if you want to ask your questions, feel free to do so on any of our socials.
Yeah, our Twitter and TikTok are Bunebapeosrs. Instagram, YouTube, and Twitch are all Bunebape. I stream 4 days a week at twitch.tv/Bunebape. And again, if you want to stop by Friday, July 5th, 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, I'll be doing a cosplay. And I'm really excited because it's been a while.
Yeah, she's going to be Temporos.
No, that would be so funny. Get a blue morph suit and paint a bunch of little blue fishes on me.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Someday.
It'd be even cooler if you
Someday.
had like a sheet over you
Oh, so that's
that
like shaped like
was
it.
an LED sheet and you could have fishes going across you.
That seems more expensive, but cool.
Yeah, that would be more a
Something-
sheet of LEDs.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
Just a little bit more.
But yeah, make sure to check out any of the socials. Check out Michelle's stream, and hopefully you all enjoyed this episode.
Oh, and by the way, this is the gamer shirt. If anyone wants to buy it, I don't know if you could actually see because I have to crop this video a lot whenever I edit.
Yeah. Well, if you did like it, then hopefully you come back next time. So thanks again, and we'll see you all.
Very soon.
Bye.
Bye bye.